How did you foil or dodge someone else's attempt to cheat or deceive you? 1. This happened in my introductory computer science this past winter. When I teach, I have a policy about cell phones. If your phone rings, I answer it. It's embarrassing for the student, and I never have a cell phone ring more than once per term. Late in the term, a student's phone rang. The student was a fellow named Drew, and he stopped the ringing after about 3 or 4 rings. I was teaching a large lecture, and I couldn't get to Drew in time to answer the phone. I reminded the whole class that I would have answered it. 2 minutes later, a phone rings again. And, once again, it's Drew's phone. This time, Drew let it ring for long enough that I could answer it. A little suspicious. Sure enough, I hear a female voice on the other end say, "I'm just going to come right out and say it, I'm pregnant." I'd seen the video on the internet of this trick being played on a professor, so I just said, "Yeah, nice try," and I gave Drew his phone back. Later on, I realized I blew it. What I should have said was, "It can't be Drew who got you pregnant," because of his, problem. Just before the next lecture in the course, I mentioned this to Drew. He thanked me for not saying it. But if a student ever tries that one again, I'll be ready. 2. I was a teenager buying a ticket at the Cyclone, the classic wooden roller coaster at Coney Island. The ticket cost $1. This was back in the 1960s, and I gave the man a $5 bill. He counted out my change, and handed me the ticket in dollar bills. He slowly counted, 1, 2, 3, 4. That sounds right, doesn't it? But the 1 was for the ticket. He paused. I waited. He paused. I looked him in the eye. Then he took one more $1 bill, handed it to me, and said 5. I'd bet that his trick worked on many teenagers. 3. When I about 4 years old, my parents were missionaries in Romania. Being from the US, the Romanians always thought we had money, which is not an atypical thing for Americans to experience while traveling abroad. So, my dad would often be targeted by pickpockets in the marketplace. At the market closest to where we lived, there was one particular pickpocket who was very good at his thievery, and my dad learned about this through other people he knew. One day my parents were walking through the market and this guy tried to get to my dad's wallet. My dad, being aware that the thief was operating in the area, had one of these. He kept his wallet on the inside of his jacket so it was much harder to get. The thief began his routine, the classic bumping into someone, distracting them by apologizing, and slip your hand into their pocket routine. But my dad was wise to this tactic and grabbed the guy's hand. He opened the guy's hand, looked him dead in the eye and said, "You need this more than I do." He then proceeded to dump the contents of his coin purse into the guy's hand. The guy was so surprised that he jerked his hand away as fast as he could, effectively showering the area with coins. He ran off and never bothered my parents again. 4. Oh yes, late afternoon, on my way back to my dorm, Pink Floyd in my ears when I saw that lady coming towards me and smiling. She was absolutely gorgeous, well-dressed, and waving towards me. Obviously I turned around to confirm that it wasn't me because, well, why would it be me? I don't know her. As she approached and said hi, baffled, I removed my headphones and replied back. Lady said hi, how are you? Me said good, thanks, and yourself? Lady said I'm in some trouble and I'm really looking for some help. I need to meet my brother at I forgot where really soon and I don't have enough money for fuel. Would you mind lending me 10 Rand South African currency? Me said sure thing, while I handed out $10. Lady said, thank you so much, you really saved my day. Me said pleasure. Now, I'm the type of person who usually helps others when I can. That day I had some bucks, so I did. What happens next? Couple of months later, I was on campus chatting with my buddy and this absolutely gorgeous lady approaches us. Lady said, sorry to disturb you guys. I see you're having a great chat. I'm missing out on some fuel cash and I need to go see my brother who is working. Do you have any spare 10 rands? Me and friend said apologies. We don't have cash on us. Lady looked at us weird, turned around and make some comment. Me and my friend didn't bother. However, something struck me then. I knew that lady. Hell yes I did. However, it was too late to foil her plan. Epilogue. Months later, I bumped into her again. I decided to be an asshole that day and as soon as she started speaking I wore my evil grin. Lady said sorry sir. I namely said you gonna meet your brother again? It's the 3rd time. I would have literally given you 100 if you had changed your story. Try to be more creative next time. Gorgeous. While I walked past her laughing. Of course, I got the fuck you reply but I was too content to care.